Those are things that our kids may not necessarily get.
Some people might see us as being a small school and think of us as isolated, but really we're the center of the world.
I think students' lives are changed and empowered by the art that they do, by coming to terms with what art is and their own appreciation for their sense of self and their sense of community and land and just their entire perception of life.
The main thing that children like to do is to express themselves. And through their artwork, many times they can express themselves with all their emotions and all of their being. Because so much about school today is about answering direct questions and not about expression, which I think the arts is really the venue where they can have that expression.
When they get something important to do, having to do with art, they really feel successful.
A finished piece of art that's exhibited somewhere for children is really empowering to them because they say, that is a piece of me that the rest of the world is now seeing.
Well, anytime any student gets motivated by what they're doing or does something that they didn't think they could do, it's really rewarding.
They're able to get a little piece of themselves out there, and so they're able to show off something that they've done.
When they read their poem, sometimes it actually raises the hair on the back of my neck or gives me goosebumps.
Children feel empowered when they have their art shown or when they're up performing a piece that they feel like they're important and that their work is important, and it is. It's the purest work that there is.
Perhaps art has opened a sensitivity they didn't have before, or perhaps it's given them a point of view they didn't have before. Perhaps it's made them more tolerant of others' points of views or beliefs.
Well, art's a great vehicle for communication. The stages we go through as children, we're not always able to communicate with our peers or our teachers as well as we could. And with art, it's something that crosses those boundaries and bridges that communication gap and really enables children to express themselves in ways that they wouldn't feel possible otherwise.
Remembering the Elders Project.
Everyone just immediately clung onto it like, wow, this is a great idea. You know, we have all these great people that live up here. People who are special and who have committed their gifts to the environment and the arts. We decided that it would be a great idea to honor them.
It was a major, massive project, and it could impact the community in a big way.
Everyone was coming together. We'd all had specific times during the day to go down to the art room and just dedicate to building this wonderful piece of art.
Really made them connect to what we were working towards together.
We had so many different things going on. We met all the elders. For each specific elder, we went to and did like projects based on what they were about.
They had to come up with the interview questions. They had to go to these people's homes or have them here, and they took notes. They did the videoing. They did every single step of it. One of the boys made his very famous statement. He said, "This is the first time in my whole life that I've ever done anything valuable." So I'm not sure if that's the exact quote, but I was right there with him and Diana heard it too. It was incredible. We were thinking, wow, that is amazing.
I've always been inspired about art and building with earth, and I was blessed to discover this building technique, which is like monolithic adobe. We found some stones that were around here, and some of the stones we brought. We all mixed the mix, which is clay, sand, and straw. That was our mix, and we just plop it on, key it together, sculpt it, cut it, plane it, like well, like nothing else, I guess. But a piece like this is something that they can come to, and it's going to be there, and they can say, hey, look, this is what we did together.
There is a sense of community about which a lot of the people feel very proud, and if our school is providing some really interesting projects having to do with the arts, it's an additional thing that they can feel a sense of pride about.
When you are putting on a play or you're doing a dance and you're inviting community in, that's always helpful.
Brings children together with the adults on a level that they probably would never see.
They do a great job with their artwork, and our seniors really appreciate it. People come into our functions and they look for the kids' artwork.
What we're looking for with kids is to help them to find an interest that they're passionately interested in. And with a parent, if you can do the same sort of thing, then suddenly you have a parent who is a friend of the school.
When we have a healthy community that's expressing art with each other and creating, we're going to have healthy kids in our schools.
And when you say, hey, I saw your great piece of artwork down in the post office, they are just going to beam and just be so proud of what they have done, you know. It's really huge.
We were approached about putting, you know, the artwork in the post office. And I thought it was a really good idea. The post office is a community greeting, meeting place. Everybody gets their mail. It is kind of like a canvas for their artwork and a place that everybody can come and meet and enjoy it. It's the North San Juan Art Gallery. It gives the community a sense of pride in their children, and not just the family members, but whoever comes in. If they're visiting, they come in and they are just amazed at what the art that the children do and accomplish, because some of it is incredible. I've talked to kids that have grown up in this area for the last 6 years and graduated, and they still remember, even if they're in high school, oh, my picture used to be here. We've had even offers, people buying their art. That's how good some of it is. So, you know, they take this through their life. It's amazing what kids can do when they're taught. And it's a shame that, you know, the arts are kind of dying out. But North San Juan kind of brings it all back.
Malakoff Diggins State Park? State Park. Yes, State Park.
Well, I really believe that incorporating the local community's enthusiasm for this particular place, this state park, is really, really important, and especially the children. So having a mural like this that the kids have actually created is so special to me. I mean, it just really makes the place so much more than just a museum. It makes it feel so much more alive and relevant to the local community. It adds so much color to this room and so much vibrancy, and I find that the kids, especially who come into the museum here, aren't gravitating towards the older objects that some of the adults like. They really, really gravitate towards this piece of art for the colors and the movement.
Like there was day on one side and there was night on one side, but on the day side there was a really big eagle on top. It was really cool. It was like swooping down or something. I like that. I like the eagle a lot.
I really believe it enhances the kids' self-esteem to a great deal to have the local community embrace their artwork. It's one thing to have mom and dad put it up on the refrigerator at home, but to have it where the local community, and people come to this park from all over the world and they're seeing something that the local kids created. You know, it's one thing to create a piece of art, but to actually have it admired and displayed where people can enjoy it is really what it's all about.
It's proud for us to like make the mural and let it be in a museum. I did my grizzly bear in the woods because its habitat is in the woods. It's an omnivore, like it eats both meat and plants.
Mine, it eats fish, but it also will attack other predators even if they are bigger than it. And most of the animals don't come after it because it eats most of the other animals except for the grizzly bear.
It's one thing to have the kids create individual pieces of art, but to have them work together to create a teamwork piece, I think it is something that's not done very much anymore. And I think that in itself is really powerful, because part of education is teaching kids to be members of society and members of a group. And when you create an individual piece of art, that's a very self-focused thing. But when you create art as a group, I just really think that's one of the most beneficial parts of a project like this. It gave the community a sense that artwork is not just something to be shared, but it's something to be celebrated as well. And I know it's harder and harder for teachers to fit this sort of thing in, so having someone in the school who's passionate about it seems to be really what it takes these days to make it happen.